Hi everyone, welcome to a new video. Today I'd like to take you on a mini garden tour. Over the past few months we've done so many projects in the garden, from planting roses to sowing 2 meadows and starting a bunch of seedlings from seeds. So I want to give you updates and show you what the garden looks like at the end of May. Let's get started. Let's start right here with this little shelf that earlier on in the season was full of gorgeous spring bulbs. Right now I have a couple of pansies, this beautiful purple one. Really love this one also. On the second shelf I have a darker purple, super pretty. Over here I have a small geranium potted up. I have plenty more in the greenhouse. Over here some more pansies yet to bloom, and also some begonias that are starting to grow pretty big now. Here I have some nerines that will flower later in the autumn. Really beautiful pink flowers. Hi Simba. Hi. Over here I have 3 snapdragons that I started from seed earlier this year. Some of them have a bit of a yellow foliage situation, so I'll need to keep an eye out for that. This one recovered though. I have a couple of seedlings over here. Those are sunflowers that I started in the 9 annuals, truly easy to grow. If you haven't seen that video, you should check it out. I'm sharing some of the easiest annuals to grow from seed, including this gorgeous Cosmo right here. So I have a couple Sun Kings, Evening Sunflower. This one is Little Dorrit, the tiniest echinacea that is growing slowly but surely. Over here I still have the Aquilegia growing slowly but steadily. I really love the leaf shape, it's so cute. And then I have a couple of seedlings that I started a while ago, some Nigella, some Scabiosa, and some Buntail. Isn't this the cutest thing ever? So those are doing okay, slowly but surely. Over there some of the marigolds came up as well. They're going to need to be repotted pretty soon. The ladybird nasturtiums didn't come up. I just got a couple of verbena plants from Tesco. I couldn't pass up those beautiful pink blooms. I think I'll use them to underplant the roses. I love this. And actually, just outside the back door next to the bins, I bought this extra little cold frame from Aldi because there was no more space in the garden. So I have a bunch of seedlings also hanging out here, some geraniums that I bought from small plants and I'm growing on. They need to find a home. I have some beautiful Nicotiana seedlings. Look at those. They look so beautiful, definitely ready to be planted out. I have another Syrinx and a bunch of sunflowers over there, Little Leo. I have 2 calendulas, one here and one over there. Then here I have, oh, those are a bit thirsty. Can you tell? They're a bit droopy. I need to water. Some squashes really wanting to be planted. More sunflowers, no idea where those are going to go. Those are Vanilla Ice by Sarah Raven. More Aquilegia over there. And then here, more butternuts and squashes. Some of them didn't come up yet and might not, we'll see. It was a bit of a weird year for pumpkins. Some came up really nicely, some took a really long time. And at the front, a row of zinnia and another calendula. On the decking, well, there's a sea of plants, of course. Those are the geraniums, the RD geraniums I'm trying to start from seed. So those are looking good, but I don't think we'll get flowers this year. We'll have to be patient. I also have lupins, and here are Syrinx. A couple of peppers. The corn is looking so good. More pumpkins and squashes here, and also over here. There's a lot that will go at the allotment. A bloom soon on our sweet peas. Super exciting. Some of them are looking pretty battered. I've been struggling with a huge amount of slugs this year. Can you see all of that death? In this tub right here, I had popped a couple of ranunculus. I don't know if you remember, earlier in the spring I started the corms and then potted them on and then planted them here with the pansies. The ranunculus are not doing much. I'm not too sure why. So maybe they're not getting enough sun over here. So I don't think we'll have ranunculus blooms this year, but at least we got foliage, so there's always that. Over here, the lilies that we started from bulbs, they're not getting quite enough sun here. Actually, I need to move them. See how they're starting to bend towards the sun? We need to correct that. Very close to bloom on these. Over here, some of the small alliums that I planted, most of it was either not getting enough sun or got snagged on severely by slugs. Still have a couple of blooms. It's looking really lovely. So in there, I was supposed to have planted 4 allium Mount Everest, which are this white one here. So 2 came up, 1 there, and 1 very sad and miserable at the bottom here. Can you see it? And then also 2 of those purple monsters. I have no idea which varieties they are. Big, bold, and beautiful purple. The bees love it. And over here, the dahlias. Actually, just last week, I finished planting those over here. Well, you may see how the mulch is scooted away from everything. I think one of you asked, do my cats behave? And no, that little guy loves scratching around over there. Here I have some mixes. I planted 2 in the tubs. I'm hoping they're not too close together. I'm fudging a bit the spacing. Another crate of dahlias that need to go at the allotment because there is no more room in the garden. Last week in the dahlia video, I talked about pinching. That is, you remove the top growth to encourage more side branching and a bushier plant. And this is what happened a little while after cutting off the growth above the 3rd set of leaves. You can see we now have 2 growth points instead of 1. Okay, Mr. Simba, if no dahlia grows in this garden, you are officially held responsible. Yes, there is a dahlia in this spot. Yes, this one that's been seated on, can you see? Come on, go away. Okay, this is the new anti-Simba protection. We'll see if this poor little dahlia survives. You hear that, Simba? No more squishing my dahlias. You don't seem too concerned. Okay, is that gonna really work? No, fail! And the meadow is getting lusher by the day. It's looking a lot greener than it did this time last year, of course, because we had barely sowed it. So it's really fun to see how different it's going to be this year. Simba loves this spot. Sushi too. Can you see her right there? This year we have buttercups. Also the oxeye daisies are coming back. You can see a lot of buds and a couple of blooms over there, even though the stem was broken by the kittens. It's a wonder anything grew with those 2. There's also a lot of clover this year that wasn't there last year, so it's really exciting. Those little yellow flowers, I have no idea what those are, so if anyone knows, please tell me. It's incredible to see. This is clover blooming, I think. We also have this little guy starting to show some color. That's really exciting. And just next to it, we have a white rose. Look at this, it just started blooming. So beautiful. And those with the more open center are really friendly towards pollinators. So many blooms to look forward to. This is year 1 for the Generous Gardener, a climbing rose from David Austin that I added this year to the garden. Look at that. It's already, we're at the end of May and it's already full of buds. This is going to be incredible. Roald Dahl by David Austin. Look at this. It's the end of May, you guys. This is just crazy. It's so beautiful. This is the second year I've had this rose in this container. I pruned it earlier this spring and planted it bare root last season. It is full of buds, and so the blooms age to this really lovely pale creamy color. But before that, they're this beautiful apricot color. Can you see? This one is much younger. It's beautiful. Over here, this is another English shrub rose by David Austin that I added last year. Again, this is in year 2. This is a Lady Gardener. Absolutely beautiful, soft, peachy apricot. I love it. Look how big this bloom is. A really lovely example here and over there and over there. I mean, it's full of blooms. I actually probably need to stake it in some way. It's becoming pretty top heavy, so it's leaving a gap in the middle. And these smell amazing. It's very delicate fragrance. It's perfect next to the sofa. I have a little boxwood, a sedum. Over here, a rose from David Austin called Wild Eve. We have a lot of buds. It's really looking forward to gorgeous blooms. It's budded all over. Over here, another little trio of dahlias. Really lovely. I don't talk about this little shaded corner too much. It fills up with astas, typically towards June, but I guess the end of May is towards June. So I have a bunch of different varieties. I really love the mix. I also have some ukras. Over here, a pot with an astilbe. I hope it's going to bloom this year. Some hellebores that are getting snacked on. This asta also is suffering. I need to find the culprit. Over there, used to have another hukra. It sadly passed away, so another one took its place. Over here next to the fence, I popped my blue spruce. I have a white lilac over here, really beautiful. And this is a planter that is ready to be dismantled now. This is a planter I put together on the channel for Christmas. So we have a holly that's pushing new growth. It's really happy. A schemia, I had a hellebore here. Some foxglove seedlings. Those are everywhere, it's crazy. A campanula and a cyclamen. So I'll just repot those plants individually and use the container for summer plants very soon. We have a white lavender. It's not blooming yet, but we can see a lot of little buds. So that's going to be for later. It's already starting to smell amazing. Over here, another 2 containers with dahlias, of course. Over there, I have another lilac. And I just underplanted it with some of the nasturtium seedlings that I started. 2 hollyhocks that I actually planted last year and that overwintered. So hopefully this year we're going to see some blooms. It's going to be, those grow huge, so it's going to be really interesting. I think it's going to be really nice because they will provide some kind of a break. So really when the kitchen door is just to my back, so when we'll exit, we'll kind of keep a bit of surprise as to what's on this side. Just behind we have a little apple tree. That is, I'm so excited. For the first time, I've had it for 3 years and look at this. We actually have apples everywhere on the tree. I am so excited. Just underplanted it with 3 serines. Can't wait to see what those look like. I think the purple is going to be really, really lovely. Over here, the little tuja and some nepeta that, you know, of course, is the cat love it. So it's just there for the cats and is not looking very nice. Actually, need to get another container so that they can look pretty. Over here, I have a salvia from last year. I overwintered it. Nicotiana that I started from seed as well. Look at this. Look at this. It's the first time I try Nicotiana from seed and they're pretty easy. I have another plant right here. Also started to bloom. Over here, the little camellia is done for the season, although I can still see the last of the blooms. Is beautiful, white, so striking. actually after bloom is the right time to prune it. And actually I need to take after it a lot more because there's clearly something snacking on it and I have no idea what that is. Maybe some weevils. Lovely campanula that underplants the camellia. I really love it. It blooms for so long. Salvia radio red from last year. Cut it back, overwintered really nicely. Another gorgeous plant to add in your gardens if you need something blooming in May are osteospermums. Look at this. This is just so gorgeous. A darker pink and a lighter, more white bloom. So beautiful. Now we're in the front garden and let's start with a meadow update. This is in week 4 now and we're really starting to see the difference between plants. You can see over here, this is a Cosmo, that really lovely ferny foliage. Foxgloves are hanging on, but I see a lot of yellowing leaves, so probably need to add more nutrients for those. So many little oxeye daisies. I think those are oxeye daisies. The foliage from the daffodils is all dried up, and this is about when you can cut it off. We can see the grass over here. Oh, this must be some yarrow. Can you see this really ferny foliage? This lacy foliage, so beautiful. Oh, this must be a poppy. Oh my gosh, that's so beautiful. Some areas are a little bit more sparse, but I'm due for a resowing of the poppies anyway. For that succession sowing is part of my tips to sow your own wildflower meadow. So I'll pop the video if you haven't watched that already, if that interests you. Definitely in need of cutting the grass a little bit, but if you live in the UK, you know that it's no more May, so we're trying to keep it as long as possible. This hasn't changed much since last autumn when we did a complete revamp of this area. I did this gorgeous planter. I'll pop a picture because you can't really see it now. It's completely hidden by all this beautiful planting. So over here, this is Claire Austin, a climbing David Austin rose, and I am really, can you see this? I am really in need of building a framework on this wall over here so that it can climb, because it's wanting to climb on the hydrangea right now. But it is growing. I was worried that there wouldn't be light over here, but it's doing its thing. Just next to it, we have a gorgeous hydrangea. It's doing well after it's pruned, but I've noticed a bunch of issues with the leaves. Over here we have a lot of discoloration and just it looks like something is eating them, so I need to research that and treat it. Over here we have a gorgeous eucalyptus. It's really nice, probably needs a bit of a reshaping prune. I had underplanted it with those violas. They're starting to be a little bit done, so we'll pull that and replace those. And then over there, oh my word, everything has grown so much. Don't know if you remember how small this lamps here was. And I wasn't expected to grow so tall because we only have morning sun over here. But now it's going to bloom pretty soon. Those are bloom stalks. So it will be interesting to see when they bloom. But they were supposed to be a much shorter layer, and they were at the time of planting, and also I planted them really close together. I really did not expect them to grow as tall as the tag said they would, so definitely a rookie mistake. I need to divide this. Over here I have some ukras, beautiful dark foliage, and right now they're blooming. It's the most beautiful pink blooms. I love them so much. And at the back I have grasses. I did prune them in early spring, and this is fresh growth for the year. They're looking really nice. I have 5 or 6 at the back, and over here actually we have some colors on some of those foxgloves. Look at this. And I also have 3 Japanese anemones, 1, 2, 3, but those will bloom later. Ooh, I have no idea how, also with the low sun level. But look at this. The English lavender is starting to bloom. This is so gorgeous. He's so handsome. I hope you enjoyed this mini tour of the garden. It's incredible to me at this time of year how quickly everything grows. So make sure to subscribe so you don't miss out any progress in the garden. Thanks for watching and I'll see you next time. Bye! But what are you doing? This is not a basket. This is not a sleeping place. This is a pot with dahlias.